a max speed highway and every car is side by side. These players in NA East, these semifinals, are moving so fast and are not budging or stopping. They want to hit that top spot. We're tuning right back in. My name is Shia Wager. I'm joined here by Balla TW. We're watching DreamHack Open, and so far we're being seeing things that are so chaotic that it's you need 10 pairs of eyes to keep up.
Yeah, that you do, and thankfully you have a great observing team in the back helping us through it, especially in these end games with the wide picture-in-picture shots, so we could get both clicks and Boog in that last moment. That was fantastic stuff. We're gonna hop into the next game, and things are going so well at the top, but it's a duel by a lot of different people. We have Smacked going back-to-back against Frist in multiple games, getting a lot of E-lives in the last game as well. I mean, Paper as well, Nico too, Trey, Walkman, all these guys felt like they were in that last game, but we know that there's multiple going on at the same time. And look at this. What a name to see off spawn on NA East. Actually, both of these guys, Mongrel and Epic Whale. And if my eyes are right, they are both going for the Authority.
You definitely either have contacts in or 20/20 vision, because this is definitely what we're going to be watching right here, right now. And they're right behind each other. Epic gets in a little bit faster. Mongrel's left slightly behind.
Already though, there's two snakes after Epic Whale, but thankfully he has enough mats to box up, and Mongrel goes through. Yes! Two back-to-back. One is Wolfie, who we saw earlier, and then Epic Whale. Mongrel out-positions them, even though he had the worst drop, playing the Authority to a T. And that's a sign of basically what's been Mongrel's key to success week after week throughout trios and solos, is his proficiency at the Authority after multiple weeks of training.
And although that was a lot of work, we're just getting started. There's still about 3 or 4 more people left over at the Authority. Someone has that mythical jump gun. Animals here, who's already picked up 2 eliminations of his own in the Authority while this match started off. So 4 people down. No one actually has that jump gun just yet. Animal's waiting. This wall's weak though. He's on the box right beside Mongrel. Has the edit, does a little bit of damage, but that's all up to who's actually gonna engage first. Mongrel's looking for shots, lands a few. Winning this will be huge. We tune into Caddy though, more action going down. TFTI will delay who wants to get both the vault control and Caddy's launcher. Using a harpoon. It's all he has, just 14 bullets in his burst AR. This is, I already know what happens when someone gets into that porta potty. Okay.
This is one of the weirdest caddy fights I think I've ever seen. I see Bronos here. I see Steens. I think those two players maybe have a bigger say, though. TFTI is on pace to qualify. Not sure of this player. I haven't quite seen him, but it's Bronos who has control, and it's Bronos who will land on the head of the player we were watching dip and dive and duck through those porta potties time and time again. Now he has 2 more players to face.
I mean, Stu has the Caddy launcher right now. Maybe that changes as Steens is still at this POI. I'm still curious as to how that Authority fight is going to be going down. I haven't seen any of those eliminations in the feed just yet. So box to box, there might still be threats. We saw Mongrel get taken out. Big shots here from Bronas. Back-to-back charge pumps from Kit's charge shotgun. He takes out Steens, and now he controls everything. Double peppered though. That'd be overkill.
Yeah, maybe, but he wants to get back up to that harpoon, and I think maybe for a decent reason, although Cozy is still lurking, and I'm very, very scared if I'm Bronos. I was thinking that he wants to take the harpoon and loot something else. Mongrel does get Animal down, and he wins the Authority, but he unfortunately loses the vault, loses Jules' loot, because we heard the glider gun instantly go away. And yes, the ending results of Caddy Corners is Cozy takes out Bronos as he got way, way too aggressive. For Mongrel now, the key is whether he's going to just try to loot up, get some heals on anything remaining, or if he's going to camp the vault, although I think the glider gun has already returned.
I mean, if you have advantage, you've seen big fights drop down and shields be popped, or at least heard them. You might have an advantage when it comes to fighting in the Authority, so grappling back is definitely a viable strategy.
I think that these Authority fights are maybe the most cerebral and interesting thing in terms of early game loot pathing in the game currently. Such a wide and very dynamic building with the disguise with all the agency chests, with the vault, with jewels, with the high ground positioning. There's a lot of different things that can unfold.
It's
And
a tricky
Mongrel's-
spot, personally, too, because you saw it with Mongrel there. You can feel like you have control, winning multiple fights, getting so many elims on top of the world, even in the best positions. But you mentioned it, the POI is so big, it's like a labyrinth. And although you have control of one side, that maze can intertwine and block off another POV. Animal had complete control of the other. There's even more clashes that never ends.
And a big three-way fight, but two big names is Kaz and Bucky. Kaz on 143 points. Bucky was at the top of the leaderboard earlier on, and Gabe is chasing him for whatever reason with a couple crash pads. Kaz is still not into the fray, and I think he wants to, yes, as he hears both sides crack their shields. This means a big opportunity for possibly two elims. Yes, the hunting rifle shot out the air, and he will finish up Bucky too. Perfect timing and perfect position for Kaz to be able to come in and get the freest two elims in the game, and also on Bucky to possibly put him down. Mongrel is still going though, and I think he might have spotted the player with the glider gun. It's Carves on the backside. He's got him low. He's got him white HP. He's trying to build out. He's got the EU ping, but I don't think that's stopping him from possibly taking high ground. Here's a crash pad play potentially to get in this box. I think Sirs might as also potentially started running out of mats as he switches all the way to wood. Burst SMG on the top, but still not able to find anything, not able to phase in, but there it is. No more materials or can't edit quick enough, and Mongrel is on 4.
Everyone is on point on all sides of the map right now, and Mongrel is the king of the center of this entire operation. Does not still have any of that mythical loot, but he has 4 eliminations coming in to the 4th game we're watching on broadcast. Reverse 2K up at 74 points. Name I haven't seen personally in a long time. He might be shooting towards that top 100. He's in a place to actually end up winning a game and then coming out for contention. But if he doesn't win right now, I feel like he's going to be way too far behind to actually keep up. One thing to mention too, we were looking at it on all sides of the map. If you're giving people just slightly a little bit of room, a little bit of confidence, it's going to be so bad. Reverse, possibly lagging out at the final moment at a crucial spot where he's not boxed up. Take and claims the soul. I mean, stuff happens.
Chai, you came into the top of this break saying that everybody's on a highway, everybody's playing super speed. I'd be worried about the cops right now because the speed limit seems to be passed, as we also see Benji in the bottom left, possibly starting to catch up to his cohort Mongrel as he gets in the limb in endgame. I believe 6 zones, so that's definitely some placement points starting to roll in as well.
There's Vevi. We saw him win one of the games already on broadcast. Suscript is going to be the person he's chasing down. Once again, the same pattern. One person getting pushed to the limits. Jack, though, in spectacular fashion, just watches his entire thing break down. He's going to just get involved when the time is perfectly right. Might be very soon. But Vevi is still going head-to-head with Suscript. Wall takes and all. This is going to be a faster game than most. I feel like it'll still slow down and get stacked at some point, but already 57 people in the first zone. Box chasing, not even trying to take walls, but just squeeze right in with attack, like we saw Mongrel do. Looks like Suscript has no more shields left either. The Jack is finally, I think, awake, ready to beam. Zone is coming in. Suscript very low, but now both players are going to be at 200 effective HP. The advantage Jack had might not actually be that advantageous.
No, especially as the zone overtakes and Vevi's trying to get way out of here, though beams in the back could be. I'm not sure if either of these guys have opened up the vault, or if, yeah, actually, I think what Jack is doing, I think he has the key, and he's gonna wait to open the vault, although the vault's right here. And he's still back there. Maybe a disconnect?
Maybe it's opposite day. Here's Sly.
I don't even know what that means, bro.
I mean, like, maybe the storm is not the storm and the storm is the zone. I'm confused.
Fly with 59 points. Okay, I asked for an update on Benji Fishy right now because in that replay, it was only at 11 points. So I wanted to make sure that that was definitely old. So he's up there, man. We are going to have possibly both Benji Fishy and Mongrel. Right now, they're on pace to qualify for NA East Grand Finals. And you can imagine what that means, because the last time we had any significant amount of EU players in an NA East Grand Finals, they showed up strong and won 3 out of 6 of the games back in the original Elite Cup. Sly hits some nice shots. Not sure how consequential that will be over time, but at least gives him another 5 points, and he's still chasing one down.
I mean, this is the time to go for plays like this for early fights. And although you do get hit, I don't think there's an opportunity to disengage at all. That's a very, very loud compact SMG. X8, who's also playing over from EU, unless it's, I think, a fanboy. I'm not sure. Unless he only qualified on NA. I didn't see him on the double qual list, but he's been a player that's been dropping knowledge for both novice players, but at the same time giving POVs of pro play for such a long time. This might be his only chance to see a grand finals. That was where the server is finally slowing down. We were at 58. It was dropping by 10 every minute in terms of player count. Suddenly only 3 people been eliminated while this zone starts to close. And I know we're seeing points. We see 64. We're seeing non-triple digits, but just wait till we get to that half and half circle. Wait till people get situated. I believe there's still a high MMR lobby Mongrel with 129 points still at the authority. And there's even more arrows here than there were off spawn.
Yeah. That vault is still closed, so that's what Mongrel's waiting for, just like I said before. And I would love if production can maybe just click on Brian real quick to see if that man has the card, and if he's waiting to see if there's anybody who's going to make a noise, or if he's doing exactly what Mongrel is doing, which is waiting. In the bottom left, we saw the replay of Zexro getting 2 elims. Look at where the zone is. Sherrod on the KJ. And he will connect, but there's so many people right here, right now. Tragics comes in with another win, 5 elims.
That was an end game I saw with Zexro. I'm not sure if that was a very old highlight, because it's good to see where Zexro is, but if it's new, that's another game that's going on right now. Once it ends, that leaderboard changes once again for the top 100. His points were low, though. It was about 16 or 29, so we'll see where that comes through.
Old.
Yeah.
Has to be old.
Unless.
Unless. Question mark. Guys, we have an hour left until queue's closed. An hour left in the semifinals. An hour left until we determine, or at least an hour and 20 minutes until we determine who our top 100 will be tomorrow in the grand finals of DreamHack. That'll be happening tomorrow at the exact same time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And the EU finals will begin at 1 p.m. Eastern, which I believe is 7 p.m. Central European time. So make sure you're back for that, because that will be customs. That will be the top 100 players going against each other to determine who is the best solo player in Season 3 thus far until FNCS at the very least.
And there's no running away. As Bala said, it's customs. If you get eliminated off spawn, you have to face that same person the next game. You have to basically look at a black screen for about 30 to 40 minutes until the next one starts. Right now, you know, might have to just look at a black screen for a couple of seconds before getting to his next game, because he's getting beamed way straight down. Some struggles getting into zone. But what a masterpiece. What a painting, really. I'm looking at a lot of arrows already situated near the central zone. Too many to count. I think this is probably already the whole server already in boxes. The third zone hasn't even closed in.
But this is a masterpiece. I think Mongrel in this game might be Leonardo da Vinci, as he's still at the authority, still waiting with his canvas in the vault that will decide whether he's going to move forward with more. I see Cozy in the background. I did see him earlier at the authority. He potentially might be the one who took the glider gun. But what I'm seeing right now is still 2 arrows up in the authority. One of those for sure being Mongrel, and one of the other ones most likely being Brian. But so far, neither of them have made a move. They're fighting now. At least they're a little closer. No, those arrows are basically not even rotating. A big question mark for them, though, is how do they move up this hill? Because zone is now moving, and third zone, if that closes, will begin to tick very, very hard. And with all these players with good vantage points down on the authority, it's going to be so difficult.
And that's just this game. There are more going on. Bevy just won another one for 7 elims, so another imaginary mountain on the leaderboard to climb. Not only do you have to win this game, you have to do it in high fashion, high style, edgy, winning out another one too, I think with high elims. I mean, we're seeing patterns where people end up picking up the Shockwave launcher, maybe get 1 or 2 elims in a win. That's good, very good for morale, but overall for the points, you're not gonna be catching up. You're just gonna be dropping slightly over and over again. Meanwhile, in this game, is this zone rule scrims? What is going on? Like,
well, if it's zone rule scrims, you know people are getting griefed. What I do see out of the authority, sorry to continue to go back there. I'm just so interested in Mongrel's path in this game. I saw somebody move out of the authority, and I saw them actually move in before. And what that means is Brian might have had the card. He might have opened it up, and Mongrel might have said, okay, hey, zone's coming. Go ahead, take your turn. I'm going to come and take my turn afterwards. Now, how to move from there. There's Brian. He's made his way in. Mongrel's still on the top side of that radar. He's coming in the very central north. How does zone pull from here? Because it could be so dangerous. There he is in the back left of that. Ooh. And it's not too far. And I think if these guys all move early, which I think they will, because there's better high ground on a different spot, Mongrel might have a free rotate if he can just get up the mountain.
It's not going to be that free for a lot of people. You're seeing this line by Velistit, Rogue Shark, Owl, Aminished. It's all in circle. They don't have to move. They already have so much position, real estate claimed. Everyone behind them has to sneak their way in, but it's going to be so difficult when you have full metal boxes aiming at you and beaming. Moving early is an option. Simp is moving forward for that and taking that route. But if it's done at the wrong time, you can get aggressed both from the back and from the front with all these boxes. Miro will be in one of those looking downwards for shots. Question is, where is Mongrel? Will he make it in? Brian has some type of god loot with shields. Everyone else is based up, situated, waiting for the next zone to come in now.
Miro, one of the players I was talking about, controller, who made it so easy for himself throughout the FNCS Invitationals, at least until the Grand Finals. I have to imagine he'll make it again through into Grands. So he did it in that week 2, not having to worry about anything. Mongrel has made it up the hill. And there's the top 3, Frist, Vevi, and Agers. 2 of those being in this game. I think Frist is in this. I know Agers is.
I know what this game is. We talked about highways in the beginning. Switch it over. This is an F1 formula track and definitely a pit stop moment. You have to be able to just go over this hurdle perfectly. There's a bunch of people who are 60 points, 70 points, not the same caliber as Mongrel, as many other people we're seeing at 130. If they just play their cards right, they're supposed to be able to just get past this checkpoint, basically, make sure the engine is in tune, the box fighting skills are still there. But we've seen people in races before flub at those moments and fall so far behind while they were racing perfectly. So we'll see what happens.
And I love the racing analogy because in solos, and I'm going to describe something that everybody has experienced, oftentimes other players will crash into you with no real strategy in sight, just by accident in a lot of cases, and that could take you out of the race. Hoping doesn't happen too much. I think, okay, we're still seeing movement. I was scared there for a second. 5th zone is about to reveal, and it is under surge, so we don't have to worry about that at all. Is revealed now. Moment of silence as everybody tries to determine how is their path forward. Jack is in this game. Kaz, who we saw get the 2 elims, 1 on Bucky. Vevi in this game too. Top 3 is in here, Shio.
Okay. And some of those top 3 haven't really done much. They've been chilling, as are we, as is this whole server. Not many shots have been taken.
I'm curious about a couple of the other players outside of the top too, because Rogue Shark in this, obviously Mongrel too. Jack, who we haven't seen at the top, but he was there yesterday in Heat 2. There we now get the 5th zone. At least I pay attention to it for the first time. It's all the way down south, and there's a couple crash pads for Mongrel. Good rotate so far. He's going to land on the metal. and go on foot from here, but attack in the back will put him, not break his shield importantly. That makes it so that nobody's going to focus on him. He's going to be able to get the shields back up and now focus on anybody who might pressure. Going forward still again, another tag. This is the difficulty of being on high ping. Jack gets one. Uzi, who also had a fantastic day, is making his rotate on the top side of this zone.
Look at these landings. Look at the foundation, the great wall of NAE semifinals at the DreamHack Open. All these guys fighting for that top 100 slot, and they're all connected base by base. Rated at silver in the top 50. We have Kaz, who's been dominating time and time again. Mongrel, we're finally getting an update with crash pads in tow. We didn't see that before. A max amount of minis. He actually went and got some fish before he got into zone. Him and Brian basically, I guess, splitting that vault. And Rogue Shark's taken out.
Such high hopes for him before this day, but barely getting over the top 100 to qualify for semis. And then today, I think he's had a lackluster performance. Mongrel, a little bit of trouble. He doesn't want to get in too much of a box fight on the side of zone, and I don't know if he has actually the material since he spent so much time. No, only 37 builds as this 6 zone reveals, but at least floppers. If he can find an impact, then spend some time in zone, things might be okay for Mongrel. But also no rotate. Oh, 3 crash pads. I misspoke. Maybe a little too early, and hopefully a launch pad. Yes, Jack in zone. Mongrel drop down and fly way after him.
That's 2 players on the same sight line, the same path, and will they end up at that same location? Mongrel slightly a little bit lower, not next to the mountain where the zone might just go over, but everyone else is preparing for it. They're just right there side by side. If that happens though, it's a lot of pressure. Carry on Mongrel's wall as more people fly over. Kaz, Bevy, now we see Mongrel rotating, crash pads in tow. Bevy above him with tack shots, finally gets 1 pick on rotation. Very nice. Is that the shockwave launcher? There's no way. It is. He has rockets, he has floppers, he has the game in his hands, and Mongrel's game is now being taken possibly away from him. We tune in with Bevy. He's flubbing. I'm not sure what's going on. It might be a little bit of a blunder. We're gonna wait and see exactly where he ends up. Yes, he got the shockwave launcher in his inventory. He uses it. One of those 8 rockets. He has 7 more left. Box to box with poppies. This is Wally. It is 2 tack shots. Another elimination for Bevy. This is his game to control, his game to win. There can be no more mistakes from here on out.
And with 3rd place, at least in hand for him. He was in the top 3 before this. This could be his rise up to the top. Mongrel gonna drop in a box. Yes, another one. 5 elims for Mongrel on NAE service. He picks up an RPG. That could be the response that he needs against Bevy in the final moments of this game, but also still 200 wood. Still materials to work with, even though he basically had the same thing in that 5th zone. Bevy gonna get on height. Yes, almost shockwaves went off, but no. The builds are too fast. Players adapting in the front of our eyes. Mongrel gets in front of zone, but that's it. No more builds, and the RPG has to be his response.
It's a serial eliminator with explosives versus the law, all the way up top on high ground, dropping down judgment on the rest of the server. This man has a shockwave launcher. It's still active. Rockets are there. Mongrel with another big elimination with his own RPG. Match drop right beside him. That's huge. Even more rockets. Mongrel could disrupt what Bevy's trying to just put down on the rest of the server. He has 6 elims looking for more. There's so many people involved in this endgame.
But don't forget, Kaz is still up, and so is Ager. So not only is Mongrel going to have a say, but everybody else will try to end Bevy's reign with a shockwave launcher. Mongrel has to play the floppers in zone before catching up. He has a couple more. Yes, that's 2 and more materials, but there's another player in zone 2, so he has to take this, and Sly is holding him in. 14 more builds. And he's going to be able to do it, get up a little bit too, but the beams come in from Bevy, so he puts an end to that. Bevy with 4, Mongrel though ends the game in 12th place with 6 eliminations. That's a big game, a massive one, if you will. Bevy now builds a little bit more forward and still has that shockwave if he needs to end up getting a shot down on Kaz or maybe throw somebody else in zone, but Ager's still full HP and so is Uzi.
Crime never pays and justice always prevails. Bevy is just dropping down bullets from height, not showing that he has that shockwave launcher just yet. Uzi getting his wings clipped as he flies beside everyone else on low ground. Bevy is getting close and personal. He's still looking for shots. This might be slightly greedy. There could be crash pads. Aegis is all the way back in the storm. A hunting rifle shot could have ended Bevy. He didn't get a shot off there, so no elimination credit. But it's all up to him now to drop down, use these rockets in the most efficient way. Uzi trying to jump up, gets blocked, gets stopped. Bevy, the opportunity for a big 3-pointer, gets the 1 shot all the way up top in the sky. Fly also goes down. Super for Bevy. He has no more. He has 1 more or 2 rockets. Fall damage being avoided time and time again. It's a 1v1. The last player shot all the way in the storm, and Bevy picks things up. A perfect game. 7 eliminations. What a run.
And that, my friends, is the story how Vevi actually is in top 3 right now, because we actually had heard that he had won this game before we went into it. But man, oh man, was that a good one. 7 eliminations and a lot of opponents he had to get through. Of course, we're going to bring back in Kelly to discuss, because there's a lot of names in there, a lot of things to digest in a sense.
So the first thing that I want to discuss, guys, before we get into our break, is how the top 3 players right now on the leaderboard are not from North America East. What's going on, guys? We got Frist and Paper and Polaris Vevi rounding out the top 3. Oh, actually, it's a bit different than the scores that I have right now. But here we have Nico, Frist, and Paper. But still, shout outs to the non-North Americans kind of taking this semifinals.
I mean, the fact that it's even a possibility for the other regions to be there is a painful discussion as a man who's from NA East myself. You feel me? Like, I want this region to be able to thrive and block these guys out personally, right? It's a regional battle. There's always that pride there, but it's also so impressive to see these guys not only on high ping against a shockwave launcher, but fighting box to box, owning a POI in early game against people not even from NA East. Mongrel just dropping it down on Epic Whale, multiple other people from West and East and Europe. It's a sight you can't see anywhere else.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I am getting some corrections right here that they actually are North American East. So it looks like the where their nationalities are doesn't necessarily mean where they are standing right now. But are you guys is there anything that you want to see in the next game that we haven't seen yet?
Not really. I think we've kind of seen it all, Kelly. I think we have. Right? I mean, we're making up analogies to kind of give it a different spin in some senses, but things are moving fast. Things are moving in a way that we expect. Caddy Corner obviously being a big impact in this game. We're not seeing the glider gun be that much impactful. I do want to see at least one NA East game where the shockwave launcher is not a big factor in it. And the other player I'm missing in these games is Paper. We saw him at the beginning, but we didn't really see one of his big games. And obviously being at the top right now, he clearly is having that impact.
For me personally, the thing we haven't really seen is these maybe top 200 players, the top 100 players shooting even further forward. So Commandment kind of hiding in the shadows right now. I want to see him just win a game, at least on broadcast or as an update, and move forward even more and be comfortable, be confident coming into tomorrow.
That's right. We have about an hour left of competitions. In about 45 minutes, the queues are going to close, but there might be another game that's able to pop in that last minute right there. It looks like for the threshold to make it into the grand finals tomorrow, it's about 155 points. We're going to see how that all plays out after this quick break.